What's up, everybody? Hope everyone is having a great Thursday. Hope everyone is out here doing what they're supposed to do. Hope everyone has started their November right. It's crazy. We're about to be in like the third week of November. It's about to be the end of the semester for everyone as well. You know, it's been a great month. I'm not gonna lie to you. 2020 is about to be over. Start thinking about what we want to do for next year. But yeah, man. And as always, thank you for tuning into Raphael's Big Talks as your host, David Raphael Claros. Today's episode, I think, will be number 18. I didn't prepare for this one because this episode is like something that has been on my mind. It's not even the episode itself, it's just a topic, you know. Shout out to the roommates. They are our YouTube channel who help young men to become the best version of themselves. And it's through them that I've gotten this idea for this episode. If it's one thing I realize about this generation itself is that it is hyper sexualized. Sex is everywhere. Sex sells. We have all these apps, like for example, my OnlyFans. We have Patreon where women sometimes, or even guys sometimes as well, post up provocative pictures of themselves just posing naked, whatever. And we have a bunch of men who literally pay that shit just to see women post naked. Now, I'm not an advocate for porn, you know, but like at least you're not wasting your money in that. It's free, you know. But I'm not an advocate for that because porn is still detrimental towards a man's psyche. But the topic of this episode will be this, you know. A lot of men nowadays are validated. The amount of times they had sex. Men now are validated by other men if they're not a virgin anymore. The amount of times they have sex, who they have sex with, and all the other stuff, you know. And then men sometimes they feel less. They feel that they're not a man just because they haven't had sex, or just because they don't feel like a man because they don't have sex all the time. And I feel like I know that we really have to start shying away from that stigma. To put it in perspective, you're letting another man validate your manliness through an activity, which is sex. Think about it like that. You're letting another man validate your manhood through an activity and the amount of times you do that activity. That shouldn't be what a man, that should not dictate whether a man is a man. A real man is someone who literally puts himself first. He puts his priorities over entertainment first. He goes to work. He goes to school. He checks how his money is doing. He wants to improve every single fucking day. But I feel like men nowadays put sex as a need. As something that we need, like just like how we need water. It shouldn't be that way, fellas. It really should not be that way. Me personally, to be honest with you, I haven't had sex in 1 year. 1 year. And I desire it. It's a want for me. But at the same time, it's something that I'm not thirsty for it. It's not a thirst. You know, because there's more things that I want to worry about. And there's more things I want to improve on in my life instead of just laying up and having sex with a female. There's more to life as a man to dictate his manhood more than throughout an activity by having sex. Like us men, we should desire to have sex. Of course, it's a great activity. It's a beautiful thing. It's a spiritual thing, if anything. It's more than just physical. It's a spiritual thing. Because not because you hear from experience, I hear from guys who have a lot of sex, they literally feel empty inside. That's how you know sex is something that it shouldn't, you shouldn't just be doing it every single fucking time. You know, it has to be something that you do it with someone you really want to, someone who you trust. You shouldn't be letting people, you shouldn't be going inside of other, you shouldn't, fuck, this is about to sound so wrong, but who cares? You shouldn't stick your dick into anyone every single time. You shouldn't do that, fellas. There's a spiritual connection that you're doing every single fucking time you do that. And you're letting energy get inside of you from that woman who you're having sex with. And all that energy, she probably has bad energy, and you probably were having a good ass time before you met this chick, but then once when you had sex, and then once when the sex is over, you probably feel like shit. That's what it is. It's a spiritual thing. So what I want for us young men to realize, like, listen, bro, if you're still a virgin, good for you, man. Honestly, good for you. Keep that shit up if you want to. Because if anything, bro, that's one of the things that a lot of men cannot really say nowadays, that they're virgins. And that's not a bad thing, bro. A man who can conquer his sexual desires is a different man. He's a man who's determined, dedicated, a go-getter. He's determined to do whatever it takes to fix his own life rather than to worry about the last body he had. Like, whenever you come across a conversation with a group of guys and they ask you, when was the last time you had sex? How many times you had sex? Are you still a virgin? And you tell them, you be honest about them, and they laugh at you, ask them this. Okay, yeah, sex is all cool and all, but what are you doing with your life? Are you leveling up every day? Are you going to work every day? Are you in school? Are you doing good in school? What are you doing for your life besides having sex every single time? Like, there's a lot of things to worry about as a man instead of the amount of times you get laid. Don't worry about that shit, fellas. Always have this in mind that day will come. The day where you're going to find a girl who desires you 100% and you desire her 100%. It's probably going to be one of the best sex you'll ever have. And you won't feel empty because you both know each other. You both appreciate their company. It's not like you're going to have a sex with a random chick you meet. Because then when that happens, you're going to feel like shit after. So, like I said, bro, we should desire it, but it's not a need. We should be focusing on working on ourselves, working on to become better every single day, and it's getting to the next level. That day will come. Your day of you having sex with a girl will come. Just don't make that on the top of your bucket list. There should be more important things on the top of your bucket list instead of just having sex. Don't let a man validate your manhood through an activity. Let a man validate your manhood through the things you do day to day, the things that you're doing to improve every single day. That should determine your manhood, not the amount of times you get laid. But as always, thank you for tuning in to Raphael's Big Talks. This is this is the first episode where I video recorded myself. So I'm really going to think about if I should post this or not. And if I do, well, you probably see this on Instagram or YouTube, who knows. But yeah, man, let's focus on ourselves, fellas. Who cares about that shit, bro? Put yourself first, right? Forget about sex. That day will come. Don't force it. Don't chase it. Chase after the bag. Chase what you have to do. All right? As always, let's keep that chart going up.